Everyone, today I'm going to I'll tell you the study visa requirement for Norway. For Norway, we apply resident permit instead of visa. And to apply the resident permit for long-term study visa, these are the requirements. First, we'll talk about the documentation part and then the charges part. First, four number one, number two, number three, and number four. These are the forms which is required to fill for the resident permit for Norway. All these forms will be filled by Visa Indo-European Visa Department, and once the student will be in New Delhi for the file submission, one day prior to their file submission date, then he will have to sign all these forms, and then only he can submit the visa application form in Norway Embassy. There are no any other embassy or consulate of Norway in other part of India, so it doesn't matter student jurisdiction or their passport belongs to like southern India, western, eastern, or northern India. Every student will have to come to New Delhi only for their file submission in Norwegian embassy. Photographs size specification will remain same like Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, or other Schengen country. 35 into 45 mm, white background, 80% face cover. All academic documents with work experience. Apostillation is not required for Norway. Acceptance letter and the tuition fees paid receipt if available. Just because in Norway there are few universities who are providing free education as well or less tuition fees. So in case tuition fees is there, then tuition fees paid TT copy. Or in case there is no any tuition fees, then a confirmation letter from the university stating that there are no any tuition fees is required for this student. In case student is getting any kind of scholarship, then scholarship letter is required. All pages of passport photocopy is required. Doesn't matter if there are any visa stamping there or rejection stamp over there. After paying the tuition fees, final confirmation letter from the university that they have received the payment. Accommodation confirmation in Norway. Student cannot show hotel accommodation booking. They will have to show either university hostel address, dormitories, or any other accommodation, but it should not be hotel. In case student is having any name change in the certificate, like on 10th and passport name is not matching, then they will have to provide a name change affidavit certificate which should be legalized by Ministry of External Affairs. In case applicant is married, then he will have to submit marriage certificate as well. To get the appointment and to pay the visa fees to Norwegian embassy, student will have to log in this below mentioned link. Once they will follow this link, they will have to register themselves first, and after registration, student will have to pay the visa fees, which would be approximately 3,200 Norwegian krone, and by via credit card only. Student cannot pay this via like check or cash or demand draft. No, they will have to pay through online only via his credit card. Once he will pay the visa fees, then appointment dates will open for the student, and student can select the required and required date. if we will talk about the financial documents for Norway, student will have to open a Norwegian block account in either to any Norwegian bank or into the university account. So once and after opening this account, student will have to transfer approximately 1 lakh 920 Norwegian kroner, which would be 1 year living expense in Norway. Student will have to transfer this money in Norwegian bank account. It's a block account from India, but once student will reach in Norway, he can withdraw this money and he can use this money. It's nothing like Germany. In Germany, like student will have to block 8040 euro and per month they can withdraw 670 euro only. But in Norway, they can withdraw complete money if they require. In case student is going for any like folk high school courses, any short courses, then this block account is not required. Student can show the money in their bank account only in India. In case student is going through a bank loan, so bank will have to credit this 1 lakh 920 Norwegian kroner in university or Norwegian bank account first. Only loan sanction letter will not work for Norway. In case university is giving any kind of scholarship or other funding to the student, then proof is required to submit in Norway embassy. So these are the basic documents requirement for Norway. The importance points is like student can work part-time 20 hours in Norway and full-time in holidays. Spouse are allowed in Norway, however they cannot work. They can only work on the work permit in Norway. 6 months job seeker visa is available for Norway after course completion. Student will have to submit his visa application file in embassy. Any representative or friend or relative cannot submit the visa application file in embassy on behalf of main applicant or the student. Just because at the time of submission of the documents only, applicant will have to face a personal visa interview in embassy and they will have to do the biometrics as well. However, if we'll talk about the collection part, any authorized representative or the relative or friend can collect the documents, collect the passport from embassy on behalf of main student with the help of original authority letter, which should be signed by student. In case student documents are other than in English language, then student will have to translate that certificate in English. In case embassy is required any additional documents, they can call or email to the main applicant. So it is advised to please check the email on regular basis after file submission in embassy, as embassy can contact anytime through email as well and ask for any additional documents. Now, visa processing time is minimum 2 months for Norway. This means in case a student is going to apply for for September intake and his course starting date is like 3rd of September, he will have to submit his visa file 2 months prior to the course starting date. There is no any VFS or other third party authorized in India who can collect the documents on behalf of Norway embassy for long-term visas. So basically student will have to submit his file in embassy only. Student have to bring all original documents during the time of embassy interview, including passport. Well, IELTS is not mandatory as it's not like embassy visa requirement. However, uh, many times embassy ask for any English proficiency certificate as well. Like minimum IELTS required is like 6.5 for any bachelor or degree programs. Student will have to present a medical travel health insurance for 1 year as well, and a dummy ticket. 1 year travel health insurance will cost approximately 9,000 rupees, and dummy ticket would be like 1,000 rupees. So these are the total cost for other than embassy visa fees. These are the cost for like approximately 10,000. Now, if student is showing 1,920 Norwegian kroner in university or any Norwegian bank account, it doesn't mean that he don't require to show anything in India. In case he will show approximately 2 to 3 lakhs in his bank account in India, then that would be like great. Just because it's only 1 year living expense of Norway after paying the tuition fee. So these are the basic details for Norway study visa, uh, documents part and payment part. In case you need any question, you have any question in your mind, just feel free to ask me. Well, we have a question from Ratnam that specify about IELTS requirement for admission, both for undergraduate or postgraduate. For foundation course, IELTS is not required. However, in case student is applying for any degree program, then IELTS is required, and minimum IELTS required is approximately 6.5 band. Another question from Darjeet, gap is acceptable? Not at all. Student will have to submit work experience to fill the gap. In case like there is a gap in like approximately 1 year, then it's acceptable. More than 1 year gap is not acceptable in any country. When can the student apply for accommodation and how much it costs? Question comes from Dr. Saraswati. Student will have to present accommodation in embassy at the time of file submission only. So this means student will have to request for an accommodation in university while first while doing the application at the time of like admission stage or while paying the tuition fees. Accommodation cost will be approximately 700 euros, 600 to 700 euros in case student is going in a dormitory uh, double bed, double sharing room in Norway. 600 to 700. Accommodation costs are it's costly in Norway. Uh, we have a question from Chandigarh from Paramjit Kaur. Let me know if foundation program is offered to a student who has 5.5 IELTS and what will be the duration of foundation and cost of the program. Uh, Paramji, you will have to contact for admission department or to branch support manager, Miss Arpita, to know this answer. I'm not aware about this like answer. Just because it's somewhere it's related to admission or like application. So you can contact with admission department or Arpita Chatterjee. However, for foundation program, IELTS is not required, and the cost depends upon university. We have a question from Surekha about the age criteria for Norway. Surekha, it's important to know that in age factor always comes for admission part only. And in case university is ready to give the admission in any country of the world, in case university is giving the admission, then embassy cannot challenge this. Embassy will only, they will ask so many questions that why you wanted to apply at this age. Then student will have to give the motivated answer to the embassy. That's it. They cannot refuse the visa on behalf of age factor. However, in case their answer will not be satisfactory or like some were not motivated, then their visa might be refused. So in case you want to know about the age criteria, you will have to contact with admission department. We have question from Dajit. Spouse get their work permit. Well, Dajit, once main applicant or student will reach in Norway, they can invite their spouse or dependent in Norway on behalf of invitation letter. It will take around 2 to 3 months to issue an invitation letter for the spouse. And once the invitation letter will generate, then main applicant, then the secondary applicant who is residing in India or other part of country, they will have to apply their spouse visa from their own country by their Norwegian representative or consulate or an embassy. And once spouse will reach in Norway, it will take around 1 to 2 months to get the job minimum. Maximum depends upon availability of the job. Once he or she will get the job, then his employer will apply a work permit invitation letter for the spouse. And after generation of this invitation letter for work permit, main applicant can apply for a work permit in that particular institute or like factory or where he get the job. We have a question from Kusum Thakur about part-time wages in Norway. It's minimum 2 to 3 euros, Kusum, and maximum is 5 to 6 euros. Or somewhere it depends upon the like company and the profile as well. But minimum 2 to 3 euros in Norway. Another question from Hyderabad branch. Suppose student been in UK, later he lost the passport, no more existing, applied for new one. Can he apply with that? He cannot produce the lost passport. However, it is carrying the old passport number. Then can embassy come to know that information that he had already been in UK? Well, what I'm getting with this question is that student is in India, right? And he already been in UK. He lost the passport. He's applying with a new passport. However, old passport number is there. So basically you are saying that embassy can get to know that whether student already been in the UK or not. If the question is this, then well the answer would be in case embassy wanted to search anything about the student, then they can with the help of that previous passport number. However, for Schengen countries, uh, it is still very difficult to collect all these kind of data. Like in case students spent last 3 years in UK and he come back to India, he's changed the passport and he is applying for Norway with a new passport, and he is not showing these details that what he did past 3 years. He just and he is showing that he is having any work experience in India. Then most probably embassy will not ask so many questions about the UK or other details about the previous passport until or unless student will not give this information by himself. We have another question from Dimple, that fresh funds are acceptable. Well, Dimple, like as I confirmed you that fresh funds are acceptable if in case student is showing 2 to 3 lakhs rupees in his bank account in India. But in case they are transferring the money in Norwegian bank account or university bank account, then there is no need. In case like student is having old money or fresh money, it's not matters. In case student is having 1,920 Norwegian kroner in university account or Norwegian bank account, that will be sufficient. No one asks that where money comes from. And Dimple, again, you have asked about the percentage of bachelor and master. You can contact with admission department or Arpita Chatterjee to know more about the percentage and the university or course requirement. Kusum, you can also contact with admission department or Arpita to know about the 16 years education required or not. Any other question, guys? Another question from Hyderabad branch, that what is the right time to start the application for September intake? Well, as visa duration for Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Germany, these are some countries where visa processing time is like embassy can take maximum time, 2 to 3 months as well. So it is advised to start the visa process as soon as possible. However, in case like student is on the initial stage of application, they can, it depends upon the application deadline set by university. So, but in case student course starting date is 1st of September, then they will have to apply his visa at least 45 to 60 working days before. I mean in July. Another question, that documents like income tax returns, salary related documents required at the time of student visa if a student has work experience. Well, in case student is having any work experience, he can show only the salary related documents. Otherwise, income tax return is not required, just because it says financial documents. So, in case student is showing the work experience, salary slip is like acceptable and sufficient. No more documents. Well, one more thing I want to inform you all, that the financial requirement for any country depends upon embassy and the immigration. It might change anytime. So in case any changes, like is there for Norway or any other country for financial details, I will let you know. I believe all your queries are sorted now. So in case you have any other query, you can send me email and I will reply back to you. So thank you very much for your presence. Thank you.